When I was studying sciences at high school, I loved science. I thought, this is really wonderful. I also felt, look, this thing called religion is just anti-rational, anti-scientific nonsense. I mean, who believe this kind of thing? I think when I went up to Oxford University to study science properly, I did chemistry as an undergraduate and then did research in molecular biophysics, I began to realize that things were much more complicated than that. I think one of the things I began to realize was that by its very nature, science was unable to answer a whole range of questions about meaning and purpose and identity. I think I began to realize that although science was wonderful, it had its limits, and that I wanted to go beyond those limits. In fact, more than that, that if you're a human being, you are going to ask these deeper questions which science just can't answer unless it goes beyond its own natural and right limits. And it seemed to me that either I had to say this is just nonsense, or there is something there which science can't get access to, and I need to discover this. And my initial assumption had been that atheism was just right and Christianity was simply wrong, superstition, nonsense. But as I began to look at Christianity more seriously, I began to realize it gave me this way of looking at things. That's what theory is. It's a way of beholding, a way of seeing nature, which actually made far more sense than my atheism. And I eventually moved away from atheism and embraced Christianity and discovered to my delight it gave me this way of looking at the world that made sense of science. It gave me a motivation for studying science, but also opened up a much bigger vision of reality, which answered not simply cognitive questions about how the world functioned, but these deeper existential questions of what the world meant, what I meant. And it just seemed to me that really science and faith can come together in a meaningful way. That's certainly my discovery. Now, I know many would say, well, look, science answers all of our questions. Well, actually, it doesn't. It answers some questions very well, but there are huge areas, really important areas, where it cannot speak. So to speak, science, in effect, raises questions sometimes which transcends its ability to answer them. And these are important questions that we need answers to. So I'm a scientist, I believe in God, I find these to enrich each other. And my feeling is there'll be many others who will make that discovery one day or the other. Theology, faith enriches our vision of reality. It gives us something that makes sense of life, makes sense of the world, and we all need that if we're going to lead our meaningful lives in this strange world that we find ourselves placed in.